Hello everyone. In this video, what we're going to cover is we're just going to show you a quick way of working with the new rig. In particular, we're going to be taking a look at how to use the arms and their various controls. The one aspect that you're going to see that is quite consistent with what you were dealing with before are the knees. So if I move this down, you can see the knees moving up and down. Now you'll also be noticing that the few controllers around the hands and the elbows are not moving with the character. And the reason for this is because currently the arms are in forward kinematics mode. So if I select one, I use this to basically position from a parent down to the child. Now, in certain types of movements, that's actually a bit of a problem. Especially, for example, if we took the hands and tried to place them on the platform here. Okay, so you can see that the hand is generally placed in that position. If I take the upper body and have him try to lean into that position as if he's trying to push, you can see that the hand rotates down as well. So what we have to do in this case is very similar to what we were doing with the feet, where we'd have to spend a lot of time almost putting down a keyframe every single frame to make sure that the hand stays perfectly, in the right position. So basically it never moves even as the rest of the character is moving. Now what we want to do here is we actually want to use forward kinematics for some aspects and then inverse kinematics for the others. And so 3D Studio Max and CAT have this capability built in. It just sometimes needs a little bit of setup. So this rig is already set up for it. I create little gizmos, such as the elbow and the hand one. If we take these and move them around, you see that still nothing is happening. If we select the arm, go over to our motion panel, underneath limb animation, we have a variety of tools here. One is select IK target, move IK target to palm, match IK, and then these sliders. Now currently, if we look at this top slider, you can see that it has IK slash 4K and forward kinematics, inverse kinematics, forward kinematics. It's all the way to the right, which means that it's currently in full forward kinematics mode. If we drag this to the left, we're in full inverse kinematics mode. And if we now take this controller and move it around, you can see that the hand is responding a little differently. And so we can use this to position the hand where we want it to be. We also have this elbow. Now the elbow could not be parented to any part of the object here. So if the character is moving through space, be sure to use this little selection set, which will grab all of the relevant controllers as you move them through space. And so you can take this and just move it around to try to get the right angle in the elbow. Now what we can do is we can take this upper body, and you can see you can lean into it, can lean back, but if he goes beyond the extent of the elbow or of the arm, he'll start to pull away. So make sure that you keep him within range. Okay, so this gives us a lot of flexibility and a lot of control. Now you may be wondering, okay, great, how do I actually animate into inverse kinematics and then animate out? successfully. Because if we select this arm again, go to Limb, Animation, and if we click on this little checkbox, Display FK Limb in IK, if we drag this forward, you can see that the forward kinematics pose is still way down here. See? So typically when you're doing this sort of thing, you actually want your forward kinematics to match up with your inverse kinematics. And the way that you do this is basically you make sure that you have this slider on, and to start you click on Match IK and FK. That does a really good job at matching the arms. It does a crappy job at matching the hands. Now if we select the hand itself, go to Limb Animation, we're in IK mode, right? But if we rotate this, we're actually modifying the forward kinematics. The reason for this is because the hand is controlled by this controller. And so when we select the hand itself, we're actually adjusting the forward kinematics component of that. And so what you want to do is you want to line this up with the existing pose. And you want to get it pretty much as close as you can so that when you blend from one to the other, everything works out. Okay, so jumping ahead, I spent a little bit of time orienting things, and it's still not perfect there, but you'd probably want to spend a little more time making sure that this pose matches seamlessly. And actually looking down at the hand itself, you can see that it's not quite lined up. So that one's a little bit better. And so now, when we move this slider to the right, you can see that the hand does not change position. So you can now animate and place keys for this slider just like you would do anything else inside of 3D Studio Max. You turn on Auto Key and you set your properties. But this is basically how you make sure that you can easily blend between IK and FK. Yes, it does require a little bit of work when you go from one to the other, making sure that everything aligns, but at this point, I can actually freely animate again. Now there are going to be times when you're using forward kinematics, and then you actually want to put some of these gizmos back in their original location. What you can do is you can click on Move IK Target to Palm, and what they'll do is it'll reset all of these gizmos for that particular arm to match the current state. Okay, so that's how you get it back to its default pose. I would not recommend messing with the number of IK bones or the retargeting feature at this time. So this should help with your animations and pushing, pulling, and instilling a sense of weight. Should also mention that the feet are set up in the way demonstrated in class, which is basically 2 large toe bones, so that you have kind of a forward kinematics set up on the toes. Okay? Alright, so I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck. Happy animating.